Hello! And welcome to episode 98 of I'm Fine. We're almost at 100. A chat around the subjects of health, wealth and well-being between myself, Damo, and someone who's just cooked me a delicious dinner, Mark.
Good. Glad
Thank
you enjoyed it.
Can you be my personal chef now? Or should I just come around tomorrow?
The only problem is what you got tonight's what you get tomorrow. So.
That's okay if it's like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It was like a Stilton with a side order of sirloin steak.
Buried under a Stilton mountain.
It was amazing. It was amazing. We're all work in progress, and this podcast is no exception. In short, it's spoken our perfectly imperfect lives. And if we can make just one person feel like they're not alone in all this madness, then our work here is done. You can follow us on Instagram at imfinecast and search for all of our episodes by category and tag on our lovely website, imfinecast.com. And feel free to drop us an email at imfinecast@gmail.com. In this episode, we'll be looking at why the journey is so much more important than the destination. Unless you're a bus, taxi or train driver, airline pilot, postman, etc., where the destination is pretty fucking important, to be honest, isn't it, Mark? If you think about it.
Yeah.
This is not for everyone, this is it.
Well, no.
Imagine that. Where are we going? It doesn't matter. You'd look out the window and enjoy yourselves. Yeah, but it's costing me a fortune.
Imagine getting into a plane where they go,
Magaluf.
We're just going to go. Just bear with me.
We're just going with it.
Just watch the clouds.
Yeah.
We did that mystery trip special, didn't we? About 50 podcasts. We could do that on a plane.
Well,
it's just going to take you somewhere.
Yeah, the magical mystery tour. We wanted to kind of take this pod on tour. I mean, this is the closest we've got. We're not actually at home, are we?
No.
Well, my home.
No.
So is that an owl? No, but we're not in our usual place.
On tour.
We're on tour. We're at a secret location. I didn't know you had a pet owl. Have you just have to tell the owl to pipe down a little bit?
I was trying to come up with a witty one-liner. I had a joke that I was a script writer. This is honest. I had a dream.
Yeah.
That I was a script writer for Tim. Is it Tim Vine, the
comedian?
The comedian does the sort of one-liners.
Yeah.
And I woke up with just one of the jokes that I'd written for him.
Wow, go on.
So I actually woke up having written a joke in my sleep. It isn't that funny.
No, I'm sure it wouldn't be. Come on, well, let's hear it anyway. Don't tell me you've forgotten.
Yeah, no. A lot of people are jealous of my collection of farmyard vehicles, but I just ignore the detractors. It's intellectual rather than funny.
Well, you say intellectual, Mark. I mean, many would say
shit.
Inane.
Yeah, but it's interesting still that
which bit is interesting?
That in my sleep, in my subconscious, that I wrote a joke.
I mean, Paul McCartney woke up having dreamt about writing yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of dream you want, isn't it?
Commercially, that one works.
So something that will live on, commercially or not.
Well, I've
sent
that
your
one to
year.
Tim Vine, so you never know. I might get some royalties.
You might do. But that dinner was excellent. We were talking in the last pod, weren't we, about your...
Sorry,
have I interrupted you?
No, I've got a second joke.
Oh, fuck.
I think I told you this one before and you didn't laugh. This is one of my favourite. I saw a guy today and I didn't know whether he was waving at me or not, so I ignored him. In other news, I've lost my job as a lifeguard.
You could have did. I mean, do you want me to edit that? So
no, you'll just put the bloody thingy.
What? I wouldn't do. I've never done that to you.
What's it called?
What, a tumbleweed in there?
Tumbleweed, yeah. Okay.
It's very good. You got any more jokes before we carry on?
No. Sorry for interrupting. Carry on.
No, quite. You just cooked me a lovely steak. Well, just to kind of clarify, you're not going on I think you said you're not going on a big tip on this one in terms of telling everyone they should eat mainly meat products at all. But the point of this is maybe twofold or threefold, thricefold, trifold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right for you.
Yeah.
That was it.
One fold then.
Yeah, I think it is one fold. I swear I had three and they just completely went out of my head.
Yeah, right, for me. That's all it is, yeah.
Yeah, right for you, right?
Well, there is a second bit that if it's right for me and I can learn things, if I can pass that on to somebody, not in terms of trying to convert But to go,
Well, I guess right for you's covered quite a few other options of why it's right. I think that was maybe where I was going.
yeah. We were talking when we were eating just then about people commenting on things that are causing them concern. So it can be,
Yeah.
I always forget to take my supplements. I never got a good night's sleep.
Mm.
My joints are always aching when I wake up.
Yeah.
And then if you were being devil's advocate, you're saying, so what are you actually doing about it? What are you doing to address those things that repeatedly cause you consternation?
Yeah, yeah.
And they're generally not big life-changing things. It might be, I've tried not to be on my phone before I go to sleep. But
they're very rarely about the food choices.
Yes.
You know, a lot of things start there, don't they?
Yes. And that was an interesting...
You know,
I was going to put this on
really?
an Insta story. Yeah, they do start there. I was going to say, I've worked my way through 6 therapists.
Is this your new diet? Is this another diet?
This is another...
You've eaten 6 therapists.
Yeah.
Crikey.
I've worked my way through 6 therapists. I've been involved with 3 or 4 cardiologists, a brain surgeon, as well as like associated other people in hospital and GPs. Not one of those people has ever asked me one question about my diet.
Yeah.
And when I did go into hospital, the food was inedible and was doing...
why is that?
It is so bad.
Slop, innit?
Yes. But it's the wrong food. It's like...
Or it's a really lovely menu of all like, I guess, nice things that probably aren't actually rich foods.
There's a lot of things like jelly and cream and Battenberg
probably
cake.
The things that have put people in there in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah.
It isn't good food. And then you go to the vending machines that give you more shit. And this is the health service.
They try to encourage you to take your health insurance out so you can have Sky TV.
Yes.
And an a la carte menu.
Well, no, actually, that's really interesting because
it's
you can get a TV.
Get better, thank you.
You can get a TV on the ward now, can't you? And I think you pay like $160 a night, or you just pay a small amount to access the TV. And I'm thinking, imagine if they said, "Oh, you got a choice. You can spend your little bit of money here, or you can upgrade your menu so you'll get something nice to eat." But no, it's more important when you come out of an operation to watch fucking Bargain Hunt.
On repeat, endless Bargain Hunt, yeah.
Homes Under the Hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I watched, when I was in hospital, I think I watched pretty much every one of Salvage Hunters there was at the time, right on about 100 episodes. But on your diet, I guess this is what's worked for you. Yeah. I said at the end of the last pod, and I think I noticed the change in you before I knew you'd changed your diet.
Okay.
Because I
didn't really sort of announce it, no.
Yeah, and I guess there's a way we all hold ourselves, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Sorry. But do you know what I mean? The way we kind of stand, and the way it's not just things we say in our tone, but you can just tell. I mean, I think I've come to training before, and you just know, don't you? Yeah. The way I've kind of dragging my feet.
When you get back, I was going to say when you see me and get back in the car.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I'm not that strong to listen to that.
Yeah, you always said that I've turned up, but you've failed to say that sometimes I just go home straight away. No, but you can tell, can't you? And there's been a lightness to you.
Okay.
That is kind of noticeable. And I'm not saying that there was a heaviness to you, but you've kind of, in your kind of persona and the way you just stand and the way you talk and the way you've been thinking, and then you suddenly talk about, I've changed my diet up, and you go, oh God, well, you can see all the virtues of that coming through. And then we touched on the last pod about your hamstring. You're going easy on it, but you ran on it, and then you went, didn't you go to your physiotherapist? Or
I'd gone to her on the Monday.
And they'd gone, bloody hell, you just like massive trauma in your hamstring, but it had all healed.
Yeah, well,
like
she saw all this on the Friday when I got the massage. I said it's my hamstring. She said no, it's basically right at the bottom, where just above the knee. And she went, have you seen it? And I went, why would I see it? And she went, there's a bruise the size of a bloody apple here. Yeah. And because I'm on blood thinners, I bruise easily. And I hadn't thought of looking. It was just like, it's on the back of my leg and it hurts. Yeah. And she said, I can see it. I can see physically what you've done. And then I ran on the Sunday. And I was aware that I was running, reservedly. But I still did a good time. But the other thing, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, she was massaging my back, and she said, this was before I told her about the diet, and she said, there's something different about your skin. And I said, in what way? And she said, it's like your body fits your skin better. And I went, go on.
Is she not?
You're not a saggy fuck anymore.
Is she not folding it over?
Yeah,
tucking
ironing it. And she said, when you lie down, she said, like, obviously people carry bits of fat at the side and at the bottom of their back. And she said, you always had these sort of small creases. She said, I'm not, making a negative comment.
Yeah.
But she said, they're down to one. You're in exactly the same position as you were 4 weeks ago. But it physically looks different,
Right.
as well as feeling different. And then I said, I wonder if it's got any bearing because of this. And it'd be interesting next time I go to her whether, she perceives any, because I was saying to you when we were eating just then, I've got a definitely perceptible change in my body shape, which has really amazed me, that where I've lost the fat is a position I didn't envisage I was going to lose it from there.
Yeah. That's good.
Just going back to when you were, I'm not picking you up on this in terms of lightness, I've got a feeling, I get what you mean. I think it's a little bit more of an assuredness.
Yeah, but it was like an energy.
Just a confidence.
It was a palpable kind of energy, a kind of,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Again, we covered it the last one, but there was a meal that you had that made you feel not so good, and you didn't feel good that day. You hadn't had a good, you hadn't slept well.
Yeah.
Got up, felt, I guess it's a little bit like the health benefits of something like not drinking. In our experience, when you suddenly feel those benefits, it's so overwhelming and kind of profound that you never really want to go back. And I guess if you woke up and you just had a meal you probably didn't want to have, you want to get back on track really quickly, because you go, when you know there's another way, and it's actually quite a simple. It doesn't take as much as maybe people think to change things.
Yeah,
it's more kind of mindset and probably ignoring everybody else's perception.
Well,
Once those have gone, actually these things are really accessible.
If you have the confidence in what you're doing, because other people's mantras, one of the mantras that I thought of the other day, because we were talking about the idea of cheat days, and we were talking about the guy that we had watched on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, one of the mantras that I've used in the past and lots of clients use is, I've got low blood sugar, I just need in effect a little injection of sugar.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, is that an actual thing? Is it an actual physical thing, or is it as much a mental thing? Like, it's the middle of the afternoon, I'm a little bit tired, I need a boost.
Yeah.
And sugar will give you that boost in the same way that, say, caffeine would.
Yeah.
But if we then get into that position of we can't make it through the afternoon unless we've had some refined sugar, then we're dependent on refined sugar.
Yeah.
So this is the bit about me saying taking action. If I'm hungry mid-afternoon, I'll have a can of tuna. Now, people go, well, much easier to have a Mars bar, and you get that little rush of sugar. You also get the down of the sugar. You also get when, and why would you want to do something that's just giving you an insulin rush, or, then the fall afterwards? Why not just have, steady, can't remember what the word is, but, when you're at a steady state, I can't remember what the actual word is. It's almost felt to me a little bit, it reminded me of my gambling in terms, or drug taking in terms of, I'm in this position, I need a boost, so I'll take an upper, or I'll have a bet, knowing that the fall from that bet is going to be disproportionately, the guilt and the stigma. And
well, my first introduction to carnivore MD, which you just mentioned, and I'm kind of new to him, so I'm discovering him, and I'm not taking everything as gospel. I'm going to, kind of understand a little bit more about it. But he was walking. He's a surfer, and he's obviously ripped. He looks really good. He looks very healthy, and he was talking about his particular post was about cheat days.
Yeah,
he says, I don't understand cheat days because and then he shows you all the things he eats in a day.
Yeah,
and there is cooked intestines. There's grass-fed fillet steak or mince. There's egg. There's kefir. There's honey as well in there, and there's fruit like papaya, pineapple, and mango. Broadly, I'm new to him, but that's kind of what he eats. And he goes, and it looks incredible when he's got it on he goes, I eat this every day. He says, well, why would I need to cheat? Don't use food as entertainment.
Yes, that's a great line.
And we'll bring it back into the kind of the destination, the journey bit, as if, it's a real simple thing. And I know people will be going, oh yeah, but, and hopefully we'll kind of counter those a little bit. But I think that most of the reasons where you think you can't do that are largely perceptions of other people or almost habitual perceptions that you have of yourself or you think other people have of you.
Yeah.
And then when you really think about it, you go, God, that's just they're not real things.
Yeah.
They're fabrics of someone else's and my own imaginations, which is weird. And you go, actually, I can have all these things every single day. You could go, that might get boring, but I think you kind of said a minute ago, well, if you have the same things every week, like have lasagna on a Tuesday or you know cottage pie on a Wednesday, that can get repetitive as well.
Yeah.
And then if some of those things in there aren't actually good for you, then you're repetitively doing yourself in, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're repetitively making yourself ill every single. So your journey every single day is making you unwell.
Yeah.
Or setting you on,
or not making you,
or setting
improved.
you on or your destination will certainly not be where you want to end up. It's fine every day, but then when you make, again, like the habit stacking, when you make them into chains or into streaks of things, they become unhealthy.
But all the barriers, and I take your point there about, it's almost other people's perceptions. All the barriers that have been given to me, I haven't tried to come up with a smart aleck answer, but it's been really easy to get a smart aleck answer. So the point I think I mentioned to you, someone was doing some stuff in the house and going, it's all right for you. I wish I could afford steak every day. The steak cost £3.50 and the knob of butter 10p.
Yeah.
And he was there with 2 sandwiches from Tesco's, a can of Monster, and a king size Snickers that cost £4 or something.
Yeah.
So it cost more than my steak.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to eat what he's doing. It wasn't. I don't think he looked forward to it. It's going, oh great.
He thought, that was a convenient thing to do.
And if I'd said to him, I'll cook you a steak, and you put that in the bin, or you have that and watch me eat the steak, I think he probably would have gone.
Yeah.
So that's the perception about actually changing. And when we were doing...
There's two... Sorry, go on.
Go on. I was just going to say the last thing about that perception of like, oh, you're having a luxury food. It's a luxury food because the food industry has told us this is what you should be eating. Steak is for Friday night. Yeah. Yeah, once a week. Don't have too much of it because red meat will
and also
harm you.
It's expensive because restaurants charge you £25 for one.
Yeah. And we just worked out there. The meal that we just had, sirloin steak, mushrooms, tomatoes, Stilton cheese, cost £6 each. Yeah. Which is probably
I'll transfer it later.
Which is probably less than a ready meal with some garlic bread.
Yeah. As you said, it's cheaper than a Mackie D's. Well, no, not knocking Mackie D's, but
and it was 800 calories. The whole thing was 800 calories and 50 grams of protein, and it's like and I couldn't wait to have that again tomorrow.
Yeah. And
I will mix it up. I'll have fish or something different.
So so you've already covered that. One of the things that people go, oh, but it's expensive. Mm-hmm. So immediately you just covered that, but it's not expensive. It's not actually as expensive as you think.
No.
But also, as we just talked about here, was that all the other things that you have to pack it out or to fill the plate.
Yeah, but it's like pizza and garlic bread. Isn't garlic bread pizza?
Largely. Yeah. But that's the thing. When you really kind of drill things down, you go, you don't need that much. So actually, are you buying things you don't need, therefore spending too much money? That's what's expensive. You're buying stuff you don't want. You worked out price per kilo of
the Beyond Meat burgers. It was more expensive than that sirloin steak.
So would you
£25 a kilo? That was £20 a kilo.
Yeah. That's mad, isn't it? We don't realise that.
And the ingredients are
and we're told,
literally water, fat. Those are the ingredients.
Yeah, and the language around all that marketing now, because all these big food, like meat manufacturers are going into the non-meat.
Yeah.
Because they have the plants and they have the machinery.
Yeah. And why wouldn't you?
Yeah. So and they've also got the infrastructure. So they're making stuff for less money.
Yeah.
Charging more money for it.
Yeah.
We're the losers, aren't we?
And you go into Sainsbury's and it goes healthy section. M&S did that the other day, and it was all the vegan stuff, and it was called healthy section.
Yeah, and that's the language.
It is not healthy. Processed Beyond Meat is not healthy.
And that's the language in the adverts as well. There's that wrestler one where he's talking about eating corn sausages or something.
Yeah.
He said, I've got to basically, I can't remember the exact words, but it was I've got to readdress my diet because I've got to start making healthy choices.
Yeah.
So he's basically saying meat is unhealthy.
And compared to a 42% Richmond sausage, which is the most popular sausage, I probably think the corn one probably is healthier.
Yeah.
I think
but that's it. Yeah, it's what you're comparing it to, right?
Yeah. It isn't healthier than what we just eat.
Yeah.
What we just ate. No.
So it says the price. There's also the speed. We were just chatting. You cooked that right in front of me. We were chatting, and it didn't take
11 minutes.
Yeah.
2 pans.
Yeah, I was going to say. So it's quick.
Yeah.
It's healthy, and also you didn't have much washing up to do.
Yeah.
Less admin
Yeah.
afterwards.
So less water being used.
Yeah, but I can't believe you put the
Climate
pan
change.
straight in the bin, to be honest. So that's a bit
I
decadent,
didn't
to be honest,
believe
Mark.
you licked your plate clean.
Yeah, put that straight back. Yeah, and I guess it's the mindset thing. You start thinking, you start breaking these things down and trying to look at them objectively. Again, this is the other caveat here, is that everyone is different.
Yeah.
And I guess if this isn't about, let's say, being meat, vegetarian or vegan, whatever, this kind of thinking might help in other areas when you actually start to break things down. Why am I eating that? Why am I?
But this is the time.
Do you know what I
Remember
mean?
when we had that podcast, and I can't remember what the percentage was, to say you work for, I don't know, whatever it was, 80,000 hours or whatever it was.
Is this where you don't plan your life?
Why don't you plan your life? And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, I could have taken the option of going down the vegan route and thought, right, what I'm going to do for my health is, I was obviously more biased towards the carnivore because I was well on the way to that anyway.
Of course, yeah, you're a meat.
But
and you're
everything I've done subsequently has confirmed my bias, perhaps.
Yeah.
But it is what works for me. The bit that I guess I can't quite understand is that so many people see it as a big move, as something like, why are you... like I'm having to explain my actions. Yeah. And even now, when I'm going, felt better than I've ever felt, I'm stronger than I've ever felt, hopefully I'm going to sprint
Isn't that what
fast.
everybody's aiming for?
Yeah.
Generally.
And I've made a decision and I'm sticking to it. And someone said to me the other day, they went, you won't keep doing this forever. And I felt like going, no, I'll go back to pasties. And it was like,
yeah.
It was almost
I'll go
like
back to meal deals.
You'll give it a go and it'll work, but you don't want to be mad the rest of your life.
It's like Mark and his fads.
Yeah. Well, there is that element, isn't it? There is that element of you're just doing it to be different or to be extreme or to be obsessive. And if that's the case, I don't care. I cannot.
No, I think that's the stuff we have to block out. Even if you're in a family of meat eaters and you want to go the other way.
Yeah, because two of my daughters at various times, one is still vegetarian and one or both of the other two, I think, maybe tried, at least 2 out of 3 have. And what tends to happen is that there is never any questioning. It's like, we'll try and accommodate you. And quite often we would have vegetarian dishes.
Yeah.
Or quite often, even if they had a separate meal, it would be very, they could have a roast dinner, but without
I guess
the meat.
everybody,
But I don't think anybody ever went, why on earth are you doing that? Like, what possessed you to not eat meat?
Yeah.
Whereas the questioning I'm getting is reminding me of when I gave up alcohol, is like, justify your decisions to me. And I want to turn around and going to some people, you're putting absolute shit in your mouth every day and you're gaining weight and you're not managing, and then you're worrying or complaining about various things that are happening in your body, but you're happy to criticize my choices when I'm telling you this works.
Is it a bit like we talked about it in the last pod, about like the Ukraine aisle in Sainsbury's? Is it a kind of almost like a swell of opinion or trend or a kind of virtuous thing that people feel they have to jump on? Because I think that's part of the perception as well, isn't it? That it's the right thing to do, based on what everyone's saying is the right thing to do at the moment. Yeah, and you almost feel like everyone's talking about how good it is. So if I'm thinking differently, I'm probably wrong, or I'm not a good person, or. Yes. Do you know what I mean? No, this is always kind of really difficult to explain.
If we were doing this podcast and I was saying, since we did the Lost podcast, I've decided to go vegan, and I could give all the reasons why, because there's plenty in the media about why it would be a good idea.
Yeah, right.
I don't think it would be a conversation like this. It would be, how are you finding it? And I go like, boring as shit. But
no one's going, what?
You've chosen.
What barriers have you come up against?
Yeah,
none actually.
You're obviously no one. If I
because
was
even
vegan
if they did, they wouldn't say it because they'll feel like they're anti, climate change. Or
well, no one would say to me if I was vegan, "We don't intend to do that for the rest of your life, do you?"
Yeah, yeah.
It would be accepted that you've made a life choice, whereas mine is being seen as some temporary fad that I'll grow out of.
And and I think whatever it is you need to do, back to not my circus, not my monkey stuff, is that just I guess stay in your own lane, right?
Yeah.
If,
it doesn't interfere with anybody else.
That's the hard thing to get your head around. Why would you want to? I don't know if we touched on it about getting into motorbikes. The amount of people who go
midlife crisis.
Yeah, or I know someone who killed themselves. John's sister's husband's boy.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a scenario. You're gonna have a baby. Congratulations. That's really good stuff. Oh, how many people died during childbirth?
And also, do you
Who
not
would-
think
who
you
would-
might have realised that people on motorbikes die? You're going, what?
But it's almost like, but it's a little bit like, oh, red meat gives you cancer. It's like, yeah, people don't. Yeah, and I'm sure there are statistics to say that more motorbike, diet. But people come out with this stuff, don't they? Or feel they're allowed to say it.
Yes, that's it. They have permission
And
to
you-
criticise you
and it's
because that's the national narrative.
That's probably the best way. I was trying to,
Yeah.
put it like that. That's the
No
best
one
way of putting
feels guilty going,
No.
you must have trouble shitting because of
And
the eggs you eat.
it. Yeah.
I said to them, you
Yeah.
must shit a lot looking at what you eat. It'd be, oh, he's rude. Typical fucking carnivore. It's all that red meat making you frisky. There's even that, some scenarios. It's like someone mentioned, I don't know, is it John Wayne or something? It was some big meat eater that when he died, he was like...
What, did they cut him open?
he was
Found
full of
a number
steak,
plate.
yeah.
Oh, no, that's
number
Jaws,
plate.
isn't it?
What's that?
It's Jaws, isn't it? They
I
cut the
don't know.
jaws open, they find a number plate.
What did I
Well, yes, it's not Jaws, is it? But it's another shark. Anyway, sorry, I
digress?
yeah, I don't
So
know.
anyway,
did they cut John Wayne open? What did they find? What, just full of red meat? Or
They
like
found,
it-
so, yeah, like his colon was stuff. I don't know. It was just... I don't know why they would have gone through his colon, but...
Should we pull this back?
Do you know the song John Wayne Big Leggy?
No,
Hazy Fantasy?
I've heard of that.
Look that up,
You
pop pickers. Hazy Fantasy.
I have another note down here. What's
Okay.
the point of pasta?
Yeah.
Which I think's a real good one.
Yeah.
Because you're probably having your steak, minding your own beeswax, right?
Yeah.
Cooked it yourself. No bother to anybody else. And then someone might go, "Oh, do you want some broccoli?" Then we'd cover the broccoli thing.
Yeah.
Or do you want a bit of pasta with that? Or
Yeah.
And your answer, which I like about pasta,
Infant school glue.
yeah,
It's what
You
we
said
used
this
to cover in
because
balloons.
I just spent
Newspaper and
I've been
flour and
watching
water.
the Stanley Tucci documentaries about his relationship with food in Italy.
Yeah.
And the beautifully shot documentaries. You want to go there, you see them making pasta. You just want to go there and eat pasta, right?
Yeah.
I enjoy a bit of pasta, Mark. Do you enjoy a little bit of pasta occasionally?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But you're right. When you start to go, actually, when you break it down, take all the romanticism about
Yeah.
family traditions of how it's made and recipes and all that kind of thing. But actually go, it's fucking glow.
And pasta's
You-
got like about 87 different names. It's all the same. It's like whether it's a spiral or a sheet or
Yeah.
tagliatelle or
If
linguine.
ever this was a kind of an argument for, the power of marketing.
And
Do you know what I
also pizzas, when you think about it,
Yeah.
it's a massive lump of dough
Yeah.
stretched out with some tomato sauce and some scraps of food put on top.
Yeah.
If you reconstituted a pizza put it back as its parts,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? And lined them up and said, you're about to pay 17 quid for this.
For all these separate on your plate. Is that what you mean?
No. So
Yeah,
all
but
all
Is
the
it-
bits of tuna, you just put them together. It would be a thimbleful of tuna and 3 slices of pepperoni.
you'd
and
send it back, wouldn't you?
you go,
You
I'm
go,
not
can I
paying.
can I have a meal, please?
Yeah. And it's the component part.
Would it
But
just be a little ball of dough? Is that what you're saying? A little ball of dough,
Well,
and
it's
then
like-
just
yeah,
a few bits of cheese.
that's all it is,
That
isn't
would
it?
be amazing, wouldn't it? Yeah.
And it's like, it is because of the romanticism. And sometimes, I mean, I don't really like pizza, but sometimes when you're eating it, it's like, this is quite hard work. I'm just eating an awful lot of base.
Do you know when you came around mine and watched the football, we had a Domino's?
It was horrible.
You're such a bastard.
It was like,
Mind you set the bar tonight, steak and Stilton.
that Domino's was, oh.
To be fair, I think you had 2 slices, and thanks for...
Yeah, one's down the
Thanks.
back of your sofa.
It wasn't that bad. I thought it was all right.
I think you did have garlic bread with it as well.
I didn't have garlic bread.
you
I'm not
not?
one. Not
Do
one
you
of
have
those.
chips?
No, I didn't.
Chips and pizza.
No, we
I
had
think.
crisps, I think. So, how would you want to bring the diet thing onto the journey? Well, we kind of already touched on it. With
Yeah, we've touched on
if
it.
you can eat well, not at a massive expense, conveniently.
Yeah.
In terms of speed.
Yep.
You can eat some wonderful things, whatever's right for you,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's meat or not meat or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can take little time to prepare, and you can have that every single day. I'm kind of going, why wouldn't you? I mean, as I'm saying it out loud, you go, why wouldn't you do that? Well, why I don't do that. I want to do more of that. I know why I don't, because I've stood back and gone, I know the reasons why.
Mm.
And you feel a little bit silly, kind of going, I know why, and I'm a big boy now, and I can just make some decisions for myself. But we do them for all sorts of reasons. We talked about perceptions and habits, and not letting other people down, that kind of, or upsetting someone. You don't want to get into an argument about where you just eat what you don't want to, blah, 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 blah.
I just think we stick to our furrows, though. It's like, I love roast
that's
dinners.
Good, but we've talked about stacking before, haven't we? Habit stacking. Why not just tweak that slightly with not a massive change to your life?
Yeah.
If some people gets their nose out of joint, so what? I think if you reasoned with them and go, this is to make me feel better, to make me be happier, be healthier in my body, my guts and my brain are working together so I can be more productive in a shorter amount of time, so I can spend more time at home with them, or what, there's loads of positive things. Or I might live longer because I'm training, I'm keeping sarcopenia at bay, all the things we've talked about, because you're training better than you've ever trained, right? You've said that yourself. And that's not just a coincidence that you happen to have changed your diet and stuff, what I mean?
It's not a coincidence at all. It's like, I'm lifting a lot of weight. Yeah.
If you're just going to put someone else's nose out, probably momentarily, because actually those people who may show some kind of consternation, as you say, to it, if they kind of just sat down and had a little bit of a think, they would want you to be happy, healthy, and around as long as that you could be.
Yeah,
but I haven't missed anything, have I? I mean, it all sounds very simple. I know it's very difficult, but I think we're trying to break through that.
I would deflect it back to the person. I know one or two people would say, it all sounds very good, what you've said, but I couldn't do that 7 days a week. And I think my argument, it's a bit like a sort of 14-day trial.
You just do something else 7 days a week.
Yeah. And you also tell me that your sleep isn't good and your joints hurt and that you constantly have a sore throat or whatever. What I'm saying is this isn't a panacea.
Yeah.
If you've been living for 60 years, taking a week to try something different, and it doesn't have to be what I'm saying. It can be a week of, I don't know, it could be a week of being vegan. It could be a week of being carnivore. It could be a week, and see which feels best.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then go down that road.
Yeah. All I'm saying, whatever it is, it doesn't need to take longer, doesn't need to cost more money.
No.
It might upset a few people or take a bit of time to get used to, but why wouldn't you even just try it?
So going back to your thing about the destination and journey, there's two things. One, going back to the diet, you mentioned about when you said about trifold things, and then we came up with the one thing. I did this to see if it would make me feel better, be stronger, and also things like the neuropathy in my hands was because I was breaking a lot of things. I think I told you I threw olive oil over all Amelia's new flat.
Yeah, that was
a thing of olives or something.
Yeah, and he threw a fork.
Killed someone. And it killed. Yeah,
it killed. So you didn't actually tell me it killed anybody.
So the destination for me was to give something a go, and the destination would be reached if I felt better and my mental health was better and my body composition showed that I'd improved and I was stronger in the gym. So I've sort of reached my destination. But for that, and the other example I'm going to give, the journey has been the exciting bit. The journey has been to discover that eating the food has been a joy, that I don't have to worry about what the next meal is going to be composed of or what shopping I have to do. It takes 2 minutes, the decision is already made, which frees up time. Making a roast dinner takes a good 2 hours. When you put everything together,
faff, innit?
Yeah, and everything's being peeled and everything's being watched.
Then you eat it and you can't do anything for 4 hours afterwards.
Yeah. So if you had my meal instead of a roast dinner and saved yourself 2 hours, you could spend an hour down the gym and an hour reading a book. And looking at it that way, it's a good use of time. So my destination, I think, has been reached very, very quickly. I know this diet, for me, is working. I'm hoping it will be sustainable, and I'm hoping it'd be good to come back in. I want to do some more of the tests that we did before, because I can start looking.
That's really good.
Because everyone's going, your cholesterol, or your fat, or whatever. So I think if we do those again, that will be an interesting thing.
Yeah.
And the other thing was, I've got a new training partner, and she's one of Amelia's clients, and train with her once a week. And this is where this destination and journey came from. That she'd entered another 12-week challenge, as they're called on Amelia's online provision. And she had said to me, I don't have a goal or as a target. In effect, doing what I'm doing is what I want to do. There wasn't sort of that I necessarily want to lose weight or gain weight or be...
But that's great, isn't it?
I want to have 12 weeks of good, strong, sustainable training.
Yeah.
And I was saying to her...
That's another mindset
how powerful
shift,
that is.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Big mindset shift. It doesn't...
And it reminded me, we actually had this discussion when we were talking about dopamine. And if you remember, dopamine was around the anticipation. And we were saying how that when often people go to the gym, they almost not regret, they sort of almost dislike the training. It's like a necessary evil to get to your fucking Domino's afterwards.
Or your caramel macchiato.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have to get your enjoyment by listening to loud music or wearing certain stuff or, whatever it is, distracting yourself. The dopamine should come from the anticipation of, I've got an hour in the gym. What an honour, what a pleasure, what a privilege to be able to do that. If you enjoy it, the proof is that you provide more positivity and the different hormones rather. It's also sustainable because if your dopamine or your excitement is being fixated on the reward,
a sugary reward,
then that will suddenly take over, and then you'll go, I don't actually need the gym, I'll just go straight to Pizza Hut. And I was saying to Lauren, that is such a positive thing to actually go, my goal is to keep on doing what I'm doing, to enjoy it, to learn. And when I'm training with her, we're going things that she hasn't been used to doing in certain ways because we're doing some sprint training. Yeah. And you can see that the enjoyment and the learning, and she's like a really amiable person to be with and very sort of reactive positively. And you can go, you're just enjoying this hour because you know you're better for it. Yeah. You know you're happier for it or stronger for it or you've enjoyed the hour. And I think this is one of the things I was going to say is that if people's target, for example, the key one for me is if I have a client whose target is to lose weight, I'm thinking now it has to be that journey, has to be enjoyable. It can't be some sort of 12 weeks of, sheer... Purgatory, yeah, exactly. Because then that's not sustainable because it's going back to the question of surely you're not going to keep eating this for the rest of your life. You can't keep having purgatory if you're hating every week. You might lose weight over 12 weeks, but if the journey isn't good, the destination in a way doesn't matter.
Because we kind of come back on these pods and talk about habit stacking and what small steps and that kind of stuff. And sometimes we do it ourselves, and you're on a good streak at the moment, but I fall over a lot. And I kind of think, well, I understand the principles and the frameworks and the ideas. Why can't I keep that going? And I think sometimes that could be the pressure I put on myself with having a destination or a goal. Because there's two things about what you just said. I just thought pressure off and living in the moment to a certain degree, enjoying what's right in front of you. Because if you think about the bigger thing, you kind of put yourself under a lot of pressure about, well, that's losing weight, that's getting stronger, that's doing looking good on holiday, all those things, or whatever the reasons are. I'm trying to get that kind of idea of the kind of eating the elephant. You don't need to be worrying about that whole thing. If you just worry about the next few hours or the next few, suddenly everything becomes a lot easier, I think. Again, it's a mindset. It's the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's just what you choose to do in those immediate moments, I think. If you think, I can't change my life in 12 weeks, that is a huge order, isn't it? If you go, I can change my life in the next 12 minutes or the next 2 hours, something you do now could mean tomorrow you're slightly out on your plan, but in 3 months you could be 3 miles away from where you in terms of a destination. That it's the small things that build up. Even when we're talking about perception people we have of ourselves and what other people have of the things we eat, things we drink, things we do, and all that kind of thing. Yeah. Those are all thousands and thousands of small moments and small interactions and small decisions, aren't they? And it's only when you look back and go, oh God, And we talked about I think Peter Bregman's book 18 Minutes, and the whole idea of that is get the first 18 minutes of your day right, broadly, and the next 18 weeks or whatever will be right. You get it wrong here, it's going to be really fucking wrong further down the line.
Yeah.
So let's not worry what's further down the line. Backing your point up, focus on what's in the next few hours.
Well, isn't there something also around a phrase we've used before around trust the process? It was like, if your destination and you're sitting there with a client and they went, I would like to lose a stone over the next 12 weeks. Yeah. In some ways, if you trust the process, the weight loss is not about what you're not going to have, about what you're going to cut out from your diet or what you're not. It's what you are going to do. So if you are going to the gym 4 times a week, and if you are doing meal prep so you're not eating on the hoof and you know what you're going to eat, and you have a positive mental attitude, the process should itself bring the weight loss. Whereas the constant weighing for every one of those 12 weeks, which a lot of people do, it's like, well, it doesn't matter. Your destination's 12 weeks away.
Is it like kind of
Just trust what you're doing.
Kind of like cart before the horse, isn't it? You kind of got. I want to go. Have the analogy of dogs and wagging tails.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And I understand why people do it, but it's like, I've lost a pound.
It's like
that's
tails
fine.
wagging dogs. Do you know what I mean? It's just the wrong way round.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're fixated on that result, you're kind of not focusing on what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
Is that what you're kind of saying?
Well, I think it is. I know I've had clients before that have weighed, and they've weighed at the beginning of a session, and if they've put weights on that week, the whole session becomes of the mindset is, I don't think this is working because I've put on weight. So it's been a half-hearted
Is it also
approach.
And there's probably some kind of scientific or clinical thing around this, but isn't it like having like a really long deadline? You go, if you've got 3 months to do something, you're going to do it. You're going to do it the night before, right?
Yeah.
Because you think about it as I've got plenty. I've got 12 weeks. Okay, it's a bit shorter, but you go, okay, I've got 12 weeks. So you have a bad week, you go, I've got 11 weeks to pull this back.
Yeah.
And you don't. It's just like, blowing all your calories, at the weekend or something. You kind of, I'll make it up next week, or because you're thinking, like I said, if you think shorter and like you said, trust the process. Your goals might actually be massively different.
But in a way, the goal doesn't. So using the weight loss,
almost
the goal
like
doesn't have to be weight loss.
No, because
the goal has to be the process, the journey.
No, that
so
does
my
make
goal
sense.
is to be consistent with going to the gym 4 times a week.
Yeah.
My goal is to be consistent and not eat the 2 Mars bars.
So it's why have I got to wait 12 weeks to feel good?
Yeah.
It's kind of what you're saying, isn't it? I can feel good every day.
Well, at the end of the first week,
and be 6 weeks
in
and forget what and feel so great about my life.
Yeah.
That I forgot what the original goal was.
And how do you know that the weight loss is actually the goal that you should be after?
Yeah.
You're doing that because you're told. There's plenty of transformations from Amelia's clients that you've seen where they've weighed more and been happier and looked.
Yeah, because they feel really, really healthy.
Because they've become stronger.
Absolutely
so the process is have a good gym program, have a good meal plan. The weight loss, if it doesn't happen, then in a way something's going wrong with the process.
I guess that's also the weight loss. It's an easy thing to measure. I was going to say a lazy thing to measure. It's not kind of fair, but it's hard to kind of quantify getting stronger. What does that look like? I've talked about picking socks up without moaning.
Yeah.
But there's a load of kind of KPIs in it, key performance indicators. There's all sorts of things, isn't it? Like putting your socks on, or like fitting clothes that you didn't fit, walking down the stairs and not feeling certain bits wobble, or walking up a flight of stairs and not being knackered out. Or there's loads of things, isn't there?
But society has made weight the measure.
Feeling light and suddenly feeling positive because your brain and your gut is doing the right thing and be more productive at work. And there's so many, isn't it? But we focus on weight, or it's kind of a weird one. You've just kind of made me think about that and go, actually,
but the other thing about weight,
why not trust the process and have all those amazing things happen to you?
Yeah.
And then the gym is kind of go, well, you get to enjoy it.
Yes.
Because you know what it feels like.
And you have a sense of community, and you can tell people you've been to the gym, and you can put positive things on Instagram, and you can say hi to the gym manager, and all that process. And I had a client who wanted to be 8 stone 12, and I said, why? And then she said, that's my ideal weight. And I went, based on what?
Well, what? Yeah.
And this whole weight thing is, like I said, I lost 2 kilos in the last month. I don't want to lose 2 kilos. I don't mind if I put 2 kilos on. It wasn't the aim.
Yeah.
But every other factor that happened along the way with my training and my diet was positive, and the end result was I lost 2 kilos. So that's fine. The process was fantastic. I'm stronger than I was when I was, 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing about the journey. If you just embrace the journey, and this comes back to the gratitude thing. Every day I go to the number of people when they're injured and go, I can't go to the fucking gym, I feel terrible. But you need to be saying, it's fantastic I've gone to the gym. Every day that you've got a body and a mind and the financial imperative of being able to go to the privilege of going to a gym, working out, of having the time, of being born in this country at this time when you can do that.
It's like Steve Harvey's changed the word got for get.
Yeah.
So I haven't got to go to the gym. I get to go to the gym.
Exactly. I was trying to think of that, and I couldn't remember it.
It's a good one, isn't it?
But it is a privilege. I was there today, and I was training with Amelia. It was lovely to train with her. I was looking around, And I was going, everyone here is doing this for themselves. They're
Mm.
all trying to
Mm.
be a better them.
Yeah.
Everyone was, it was such a positive place to be. It was just, no
That's
one
good.
was there to waste time. No one was there to criticize others. No one was there for anything other than the positive impact on their
Yeah.
bodies. And like, what a great
I guess
environment to be in.
that's the other kind of KPIs I probably wouldn't have thought about because I don't go to gyms, so I only go to your gym.
Yeah.
but those are things I wouldn't even think about.
No.
Yeah, I'm missing out on those things, aren't
Well,
I?
one of the things
know.
that made me realise is the gym manager is quite friendly with Amelia, and Amelia commented a couple of weeks ago that the gym manager had made a comment to her about how old was I,
Yeah.
and he made some comment about some exercise I'd been doing, and I went, I haven't seen it. The only day I'd seen him was the day I'd gone in with Amelia because she'd forgotten her code. And he's watching on CCTV. He's in his office, and there's cameras everywhere, and he's watched me train. Yeah. And I'm there going, he's watched
I didn't know the camera was there.
Yeah.
Oh, they were pointing at me.
I do all my exercises in one square of the gym.
You do that, bend over and then just turn around and put your finger over your lips. Yeah, I know what you're like, you dirty dog.
But the point I was making was that, again, that was positivity. And I often find this, that I'll look at someone and go, you're doing well, in my head.
Yeah.
Because I'm really wary about going across and going, great lifting. But I'm thinking, well, I'm doing it. I'm looking and going, that person's trying hard, or that person's got good form.
Not everyone takes that well these days.
No, you've got to be very, very...
Yeah.
Yeah, even if you're looking, it's like... Whereas back in the gym, you would stand and just watch people lift back in the day because you're all there for the same reason. But that's what I was thinking. It was like, it is that get to go to the gym. It should be, this is my hour. This is my hour that's going to take me forward and make me stronger and make me... Yeah. It's another step in the journey. And the whole weight loss or even weight gain is like, that's secondary.
What about people who find it really hard to get the time? Like, genuinely?
No, absolute bollocks.
No. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just bollocks.
Okay.
Do I need to say more?
Okay,
give me an example.
Someone who balances work, children, just finds it difficult to, literally find that hour, doesn't have a support network around them to, I don't know, I'm just kind of riffing, but
so,
who would love to, it's not, they're not having excuses, they'd love to find that, but for various reasons, time is precious, or scarce. It's a scarcity.
Okay, so I gave a flippant answer, but
you did.
And all the people who have got young kids.
Okay, you absolute twat.
I mean, I had a responsible job and 5 kids under the age of 8, I think.
I also want to say not everyone can afford gym, and I know you can do stuff at home. I know don't. If only everyone could see your little. I know what you're saying. I'm just providing a bit of colour, a bit of shade. You know what I'm doing? Playing devil's avocado.
I'm not.
You're right. You're in a privileged position, aren't you? For various reasons. Some people may be more privileged than they think. Some people just aren't for whatever reason.
Okay, so
there are people who sit on their arse and do fuck all about it, Mark, granted. But there's some people who genuinely, for whatever, have genuine, I don't know, do you have any supportive words?
So,
I know where you're going.
It's fine for me with a nice car, lots of money, lots of free time, and the knowledge of knowing what I'm doing, going to the gym, and then go,
very handy, yes.
Everyone should be like me, and then the world will be a better place.
Well,
oh God, the world would be chaotic.
No, I just had that vision.
Me and Amber Heard.
We still haven't talked about her.
No,
I don't think
next time. No, it was a flippant answer. So the time thing, if somebody has a work-life balance and their job means that they're working X amount of hours a week, or the demands of their children are such that they can't do it, and there are going to be people, for example, who are carers or who have something that means they can't get out of the house, or maybe people with disabilities, there's going to be 101.
There's things in their control, things out of their control, granted.
If we're talking about, and we're not talking about heavy weightlifting, we're doing we're going back to your self-care.
Yes.
Why I was being flippant is, not everyone can afford a gym, not everyone can get to the gym, but everybody can do steps, no matter how small, to improve their well-being.
Yeah.
And I fail to believe that the majority, this is a sweeping generalisation, but the majority of people who spend 12 minutes on Facebook couldn't have stopped that 12 minutes and done some squats, some split squats on a Monday.
Or done it whilst on Facebook.
Yeah.
Ah.
Some press-ups on a Tuesday, a run on a Wednesday. None of this is costing money, and none of this is new time. It's a bit like the roast dinner analogy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might order a pizza and sit in for 20 minutes and wait for that to be delivered, but in that 20 minutes, you could go for a run, which won't cost anything. You could do... I mean, I looked at several people in prison that I used to work with who were quite often in solitary, like Charles Manson. I didn't work with Charles Manson, but basically became an absolute... he was a beast anyway, but, just worked out in his cell.
Yeah.
And okay, he had a lot of time, so I'm being flippant. But what I mean is, you can do bodyweight exercises. There is
without
everything...
the equipment.
And you can find 12 minutes. And I would warrant that anybody who did a structured 12 minutes every day, someone lower body, someone running, someone get a skipping rope.
Yeah.
So 12 minutes skipping. Not many people will be able to manage 12 minutes skipping.
Yeah, right.
12 minutes running, a number of press-ups, but it'll take 12 minutes to do the whole thing. Number of squats, but with the rest in between.
Yeah.
Maybe get one set of dumbbells and do various exercises with those. That's all you need. Get a pull-up bar for 20 quid.
Yeah.
So it isn't a financial thing. 12 minutes a day, I would say the majority of people can find 12 minutes a day.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
So you make those starts. I was being flippant. Not everyone can get to
No,
the gym.
I know where you're...
But I think there can always, if you have made... the only thing I would say is if somebody hasn't got the privilege of being able to do it because of like a physical restriction that stops them, or they would need support, or they would need somebody to assist them, then of course, that's going to be different.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people who say I haven't got time do have time. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, cool.
No, but I think we'll do the test. I don't know if you're due for another one. But...
Yeah, well, I've got a few tests. There's the blood one. There's the DNA one. And there's also the poo one.
You've had those done, haven't you?
I haven't followed them up.
But you've got the results, or?
I had them ages ago, but I hadn't done any. So I've got a few that came through, and I haven't done them since, so I can get them done again.
Yeah,
but
I think that would be
good.
interesting for people.
Yeah, it would be good. I think I said on one of the pods, maybe a couple ago, that we were going to get Miguel back on here.
Yeah.
He's bang up for it.
Cool.
And because we stopped again, I've kind of put him on the back burner. But so I don't know when we'll be doing it, but we will be getting.
That'd be interesting for his view on my diet.
Yeah, it would be good to kind of tie those two things together. So I haven't forgotten about that, and that is coming soon. And he's bang up for it. So that's it for this episode. Well done for getting this far, and thanks for listening to us.
Yeah, good to be back.
Yeah.
I think the one thing is that I've become less opinionated and probably a little bit milder.
Maybe you want to listen back to this.
Yeah, okay.
Bollocks. Fucking lazy.
Everybody in the world could get to a fucking gym. Bloody unemployed, living off my taxes, claiming universal credit and eating Dominoes.
I'm leaving this in. Do you want to carry on? What's wrong with Domino's? You got such a thing for Domino's. I reckon if they sponsored us, you wouldn't mind. Would you? Free meteors. Remember, you can follow us on our socials by searching for imfinecast, and feel free to drop us an email at imfinecast@gmail.com. In the next episode, I don't know, we haven't got that far, but we're back and we're going to do more stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
So until then, take care of yourself.
Adieu.
Bye.
Bye.